And I was explaining to him and to the team, Black men specifically are ready. They're open. But the Republican Party has to do a much better job in going into those communities, because I believe they're open. Now, are they going to go in and pull the lever? That's something to be decided.
No. Okay, see, and this is the delusion here. And this is what drives me crazy. We black men, myself, hey, guess what? I'm a black man, if you couldn't tell, okay? I'm not reluctant to vote Republican just because I'm not ready, or I haven't heard any like good messaging, or I don't know, good candidates. That's not the problem. The problem is the guys that you elect as president or like put out in the forefront are racist. Okay, so we need to just understand this one thing, okay? If there's anything that you get from this video, it will be this, all right? I need you to focus up and lock in right now. Black men and black women, but specifically black men, voted in large numbers for the Democratic Party, for Harris. Now, whatever the reasons, we can have that conversation, but I just hate it when I keep hearing these people, especially this one right here, continue to push out the lie that a lot of black men, especially from 2020 to 2024, just came out for Trump, and white men, black men, Hispanic men all support Donald Trump. No, stop lying. You're making my people look bad, because the stats, the numbers, the data, the statistics, the proof in the pudding doesn't back that up. And of course, I want to show you guys. You know what I'm saying? When I get a chance to show you guys some proof, I'm going to take advantage of it. So let's go ahead and scroll upward. I had this set. Okay, right here. This is 2020 and 2024. Remember, this first category is 2020. Next one over is 2024. If we look at Harris, black men, and then we look at Trump, black men. Hey, where's black men? Right here, black men. There is virtually no difference in 2020, 19%, and 20% in 2024. This row right here, my finger cuts off, but just right there, this area, why do people, you tell me by looking at this, why do people keep saying that black men drove out to Trump because they supported from X, Y, and Z reason, and the numbers don't show that? People, stop lying. That is a false narrative, and that kind of feeds into the whole, what do they call it? FOMO, the fear of missing out. Like, the reason why I think a lot of Republicans continue with that lie is to try to build up momentum that's not even there. Black people as a whole, as we can see in the numbers in 2016, 2020, and 2024, they're voting Democrats. Now, once again, that conversation we can have, but let's not have a dishonest conversation, all right? And that's what led me to this video right here. So let's go ahead and see what they got to say.
Like, Mr. Horrible Orange Racist has presided over a period of transformation in the black community, among black Americans.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm glad you said that. We are diverse, even as black people, right?
I hate these terms.
So if you guys don't know her, I actually had to do some research on her. I'm sorry, I don't know every candidate that has ever ran. I had to look her up, and she lost to Dr. Oz. Okay, yes, that Dr. Oz, the TV show guy. Okay, once again, she lost to that guy, which, and during that time, Oz lost to Fetterman, the fake progressive. Okay, so that's her. Got you.
These giant monolithic communities. That's not a thing. That's
you
not
have
what community
said
is.
So much that is really good, and we can park on any of them and double click. But Let me just see. Donald Trump, deeply flawed. Well, I'm deeply flawed as well, right?
Well, let's set that one aside. I want to focus on what's happening among
with the black community
in black politics. This has been a lot of this conversation. So what's happened?
Yeah. Exactly what we've been talking about. And yes, I saw it in 2020 when I started although in 2020 I was in a Republican primary. So generally the theme is, when you're running, a political consultant would tell you, don't go into Democrat communities yet. Just focus on white Republicans. Go into all of these places. But I knew I was going to win. I felt strongly I was going to win. And so I was priming the pump for when I left the primary and went into the general. And plus, I wanted Black people to know what it felt like to be wooed. This is what it feels like when a politician comes into your community and they believe what you have is of value to them and they want it. This is what it feels like, right? And so I was intentionally going into predominantly Black communities. And what I saw in 2020 in these Black communities, that essentially Black women would not show up. Black women didn't want to have anything to do with me. And if I did walk into a room with them, they were primarily mean mugging me.
So, once again, okay, because when I would go into an area and there's Black women, if they're mean mugging you, okay, first off, be honest. Why? Okay? Because unfortunately, you're not going to move any Black Democratic voter if you can't speak to the Black women. You know what I'm saying? And once again, look at the numbers. The numbers will show you. They will tell you how to get that. So, I mean, that's a question that she's going to have to answer.
Found out I was a Republican and running for office. Okay. But Black men, their ears were perked. They were listening.
And the data
supports that. They were listening with their heart. And they were sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I would come in with the stats. I would come in with large graphs and I'd just sit it there. Every list that measures anything positive, Black men are at the bottom of that list. Aren't you tired? Don't you want something better? Right? And then I would ask them questions. In 2020, we were having the conversations about only Black people don't have ID, right? So as a result, we should.
Once again, no one is saying that. No one's saying all Black men don't have IDs or driver's license. That is not the question. That is not what people who understand how getting an ID and how that works, they're not saying that. But what the conversation is steering to that does bring up these numbers is when people don't have an ID or a driver's license, which there is actually obstacles for some people of getting that should not stop them from voting. Because if that does, unfortunately, just like a lot of other statistics, that heavily weighs on Black and brown communities. You know what I'm saying? Once again, it's not the end all be all conversation, but if you want to have the conversation, the data shows that more so affects Black and brown communities. And the question is, should that stop someone from voting? Because there is obstacles. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pocket watching people, but if someone can't pay whatever fines or fees that they need to acquire a driver's license or an ID, should they still vote? That's the question. But of course, they're not going to phrase it to where it's an honest question. They're going to phrase it to like, oh, Democrats are trying to like make you feel as if you don't have an ID. Okay, let's let her finish.
Like they didn't say white people didn't have IDs. They didn't say Hispanics or Asians didn't have IDs. They exclusively limited it to Black people. And I would say, no. Open up your wallets. I'm not going to ask you for any of your money. I just want you to, if you have an ID, pull it out. And then I would talk to them about what the messaging is all around the world, that only Black people are so dumb and so lazy, that only we don't know how to go get an ID. Everybody else knows. So let's lower the bar so that we can help these poor people, right? And I said, but look at you. Now, there was one person who had...
Now, my question to her would be, Okay, if the Democratic Party is bringing that up as, an argument, what is your counter proposal for that? If there are black individuals, Asians, Mexicans, white people that do not have an ID or access or the opportunity to even get one, what do you propose to at least remedy that, so the Democratic Party can't even use that as an excuse? I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have one. But guess what? Hey, your boy has figured out an idea. Just make it extremely, like, damn near free, available to all citizens. At least an ID. Hey, guess what? Are you a citizen? You get an ID. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to jump through all these hoops. Because trust me, I've been in a situation to where I could not get an ID or a driver's license because I was $200 behind on child support. It was crazy. And luckily I had the money to just pay that real quick to get what I needed. But can you imagine someone who didn't have that money? They just say, F it. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to pay that money just to go vote. You feel me? So, like, just stop all the obstacles. Stop making these unnecessary hurdles for someone to have an identification card. Make it free for every U.S. citizen. Just like, the little social security cards, that comes with an ID. And guess what? It's free renewal. Just come to the DMV and get your renewal for your ID. Now, guess what? Democrats can't run off that. They can't say, oh, no, people don't have a... Guess what? They do. You need a new argument. But, unfortunately, that's too much thinking for some politicians.
Had an ID, but it was expired. And I was like, now go fix that. But you have an ID. So you know where it's located, right? This is the bar of low expectation that they only preserve for black people. And what I saw in 2020 is what I told Vivek when he was running last year and we were on the campaign trail, is that, and I was the one who set up his meeting to go into the south side of Chicago, standing room only, predominantly black men. And I was explaining to him and to the team, black men specifically are ready. They're open. But the Republican Party has to do a much better job and going into those communities, because I believe they're open. Now, are they going to go in and pull the lever? That's something to be decided.
No. Okay. See, and this is the delusion here, and this is what drives me crazy. We black men, myself. Hey, guess what? I'm a black man. If you couldn't tell, okay, I'm not reluctant to vote Republican just because I'm not ready, or I haven't heard any like good messaging, or I don't know, good candidates. That's not the problem. The problem is the guys that you elect as president or like put out in the forefront are racist. Like, I don't want to associate myself with a party full of racist people. If David Duke supports Donald Trump and I support Donald Trump, I would ask myself, why do myself, and a KKK member, the Grand Wizard, whatever weird titles they got, are voting for the same candidate? Something's wrong. I need to reevaluate my life. You know what I'm saying? I need to make sure I'm not playing myself here. That would be some of the simple questions I would ask myself. So it's not because I don't know about the Republican Party. That's not the issue. The issue is you guys foster a weird atmosphere of racist, bigoted pedophiles, and some people just don't want to be associated with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, of the hearts of hearts of a Tim Scott, I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping he's a cool guy. I'm pretty sure you can chill with that dude. I don't know. I'm just guessing, But if you're representing the Republican Party and 90% of black folks call you a sellout, you might want to reevaluate some things. But, like, why are they saying that I'm a sellout with these people? Take a look at that and you might have your answer.
but they're open to the message. Like, I have never seen Black people open to a message outside of the Democrat Party. But we have to be willing to go in and have that hard conversation. It's not scripted. Allow people to talk and ask questions and say it in the way that they want to say it. And then you respond to that in the most authentic self that you can bring to the table in that environment. And it was standing room only. And let me just say, Donald Trump, not the Republican Party. The Republican Party sucks at going into... The Republican Party talks every year about going into the Black community. The Republican Party has no intentions of going into the Black community. It has been Donald Trump who has been very specific about when he was in office in 2016. He was very specific in talking to the Black community. And he wasn't bringing Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Megan Thee Stallion to talk to the Black people. He brought in Black businessmen. And he came up with the plan, and he came up with opportunity zones that, when implemented, they were actually improving the lives of Black people. He was deregulating, which is really huge. One of the 3 top industries for Black businesses is in the hair and nail salon. And the number of regulations that the Democrat Party has put on people who just want to sit in their home and braid hair, Donald Trump came in and reversed all of that. So
once again, with the whole regulations, hey, I understand if you're starting a business, regulations will put you in some weird circumstances. I hear it all the time in my Discord. I have, an individual, Mr. Ty. Hey, Ty, how you doing if you're watching? He can express to you, sometimes regulations will be a pain in the ass. But trust me, as a consumer, I don't mind the regulations, because you know what that means? That whatever product or whatever home or car that I'm driving, it was done properly, or at least on paper. Regulations are there for a reason. There's a reason why you can't just set up shop of a tattoo shop at home just for the hell of it. There's some things that can go wrong, okay? Regulations, for the most part, I don't know every single regulation for every single business, but for the most part, it should be there for the consumer's benefit and not the business owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be the consumer's best interest and not yours. Because if it's up to the business owners, there'd be no regulations. But then why do we have regulations? I mean, so once again, I don't really care about the whole regulation conversation. We need those for a reason. So just cutting them isn't making me happy at all. So
these were very real, very tangible. This is how you show up when you think the people you're talking to have value. And that is what Black people, Black men specifically, are responding to. Not the gold sneakers, the gold shoes. That's what Republicans focus on.
I mean, Donald Trump,
talking about real ideas.
Donald Trump did get featured in a lot of the rap songs that you don't like particularly much.
Wait, didn't Trump come out with the shoes? Didn't Trump come out with like some trading cards or some NFTs, gold coins? I mean, a Trump Bible. What are we talking about? Once again, like, I don't understand like what universe these individuals are living in. But that's where whoever is listening to him needs to understand that what she's saying is lies. And it needs to be challenged. And this individual, don't know who he is, God bless his heart, he's doing a poor job at doing that. Like, hey, the Trump sneakers, he was selling those. Took pictures, photos, like, hey guys, check this out. The trading cards, he's endorsing them on his website. The Trump Bible, $60-$80 a pop? Come on, you tell me who's the con man here.
Before they hated him.
Yeah, right.
Before he was a cool, every Black rapper aspired to be Donald Trump. Donald Trump rich.
No, okay. See, once again, I don't know everyone's lived Black experience, but no, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up listening to Exhibit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Exhibit inspired to be Donald Trump. I mean, I'm pretty sure he inspired to get money. to make money, got you. But that's not Donald Trump. Once again, if you are not connected in any way, shape, or form to black culture and you can't be honest, you're going to say some dumb stuff like that. Hey, every black rapper wanted to be Donald Trump. And the only reason why he was ever mentioned in a few songs is because they knew of him. They didn't know him personally. They knew of him. The rich guy. Quote, the rich guy. You know, the business guy, the real estate guy. That's who they knew. But me personally, if they really knew Trump the way that he's exposing himself now, it wouldn't go down like that. 9 times out of 10, black folks who love themselves, it wouldn't have went down like that. So there you go.
Trump-like, right? It was only when, and this is the, this is the, the power of the media, of how they can take something and they can mar it and sully it and, and cast doubt on it. And it also puts a spotlight on the fact that Republicans don't have a counterpoint to what Democrats are doing. And so they allow Democrats to set the narrative and to run with it. Okay. And that has not served us well.
So once again, I understand if crazies on the internet, on TikTok or YouTube are like speaking on Trump's behalf, okay? You shouldn't take those individuals and put that at the feet of Trump. I get that. But unfortunately, we have this thing called video, okay? It shows face and it amplifies audio that they're projecting into like a microphone, okay? So we can see them and hear them, and we can refer to these videos essentially as long as we have that format and that data, okay? We have proof of Trump saying the most craziest, racist, most bigoted, stupid things he has ever said. We can go back and see that. And I have done videos of this, so just take your time, go watch those, where he will recite Hitler. For out of all people, he will recite Hitler. You're losing points for me by reciting Hitler. So don't give me, the media is twisting what he's saying. You can't twist hard enough for someone to quote Hitler. It doesn't work like that.
To come to Trump. So my relationship with Trump heading into 2016 was kind of funny as a Philadelphian and somebody who spent a lot of time in South Jersey. I actually was technically an employee. So I waited tables at Trump Arena in Atlantic City for several summers. So I everything about him in 2016 was weird. It was like, wait a second. This was a guy that was partying with the Clintons, that was a New York billionaire, that the media loved, Whoopi Goldberg loved until 5 minutes ago. Yeah. And so my worry was like, this is like a fake conservative grifter guy who's going to come in and because he's gotten old and grumpy, is running as a Republican. But it is going to be like a mushy, moderate, left of center, cosmopolitan guy. That obviously turned out to not be true.
Right. But
that was one piece of the puzzle. The other piece of the puzzle, if you're a Christian, if you care about moral character, if you care about the moral character of our leaders, this is a guy with multiple divorces, with who say what you will about the Stormy Daniels thing, but it's not good to be messing around with porn stars. Whatever happened.
I like how he said, it's not good to be messing around. Like, no, Pimpin', it is never good when you're married to be messing with anybody. Not even a little bit. And what makes it worse is he was messing with Stormy Daniels while his wife was pregnant. So it's like, but that's the Republicans' champion right there. I guess that's their dude right there.
It's still gross. It's still not good. He knew Jeffrey Epstein and had multiple interactions with him. I know he disavows it, but I'm piling on here for a reason. Because I think for people, and I would put myself in this category, who are seeing these things not just Democrat, Republican, and the system versus the people outside of it, but who are looking at Trump and people like you who've come into really big supporters of him, there's like a dissonance.
Right.
So help me with, like, why would you see that character with all his flaws as someone who is like a pro-life Christian?
Yeah.
And it's simple, okay? This could be answered very simply, but of course, she's going to not answer it and be honest. But anyone that has ever critiqued Trump in any form, you know, they have been literally shunned by the Republican Party. So they learned quickly to fall in line. If you question his character, his businesses, his, you know, popularity, any of his like policies that he wants to implement, if you question and you have some sort of doubt in him, his base will come after you. At that point, you're not even a real Republican. That's when they call you a rhino. I mean, you know, they'll call you every name but a child of God. You know what I'm saying? And these supposed to be Christian, family value type of people, and they will shun you if you have any critiques of the cult leader Trump. So that's your answer. You can't say, "Oh man, I'm not gonna vote for this guy." How is he a Christian and he can't even, you know, tell you one verse from a Bible? But no, you say that out loud and you're a Republican, and guess what? You are not going to win your seat, obviously.
He was pro-choice until 5 minutes ago, even given his incredible actual actions on the court side. Like, he's the most functionally pro-life president in modern American history because of the court. But in terms of prior to that, that was really the biggest surprise of all. I know I'm monologuing, so bear with me. But again, like, one of the things I care about with this show is not to get into like, gosh, we're just all bombarded by partisan crap. It's so, ugh. So help me understand this. Like, honestly, like, why him? Why is he a galvanizing force with all his flaws and warts and word salad rambling and all, like, why?
Yeah. Okay. But I loved it, and it's valid. For a moment, Donald Trump did me no favors in my 2022 race.
Yeah, according to Times, like, you're the Trumpiest candidate who wasn't endorsed.
And I didn't even mind not getting the endorsement.
You needed to have a TV show.
I think the
likes
best
TV show people.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, I used to say the best thing Donald Trump could have done for me was endorse me in that 2022 race. The second best thing he could have done for me was endorse Dr. Oz. Because everyone had a knee-jerk reaction against Dr. Oz, and it forced our people to really get out here, do the research, and find the right conservative to get behind. So that was the best thing he could have done for me. But in those so I didn't mind him not giving me the endorsement. But those last 5 days, he did me absolutely no favors, right? He put the green light on others to start lying on me and, you know, and trying to destroy my character. They did not. But they did enough to muddy the waters to where something I had earned the right to be in that position. It was stolen from me because people just didn't want me. And
what do you mean by that? It was stolen from you?
I could have won had it not been, I believe I would have won had it not been for, I mean, they were telling our voters, these were more MAGA sounding people telling our voters in 2022 that she could be a member of Black Lives Matter. I mean,
so I'm just confused listening to her, and it's like, you want to blame Trump and the Republicans for something as stupid as she could be a member of the Black Lives Matter. As if that's like some sort of terrorist group. Like that's on the same level as a Ku Klux Klan member. Like, I don't understand it. But she's spent, 10 minutes glazing the Republican Party and Trump as if like this is the party for black people that they should be voting for. But they didn't vote for her because they made up lies and rumors that she could be a part of the Black Lives Matter movement. That doesn't make any sense. It sounds like your party doesn't even like you. So why are you trying to convince us to like a party that doesn't even like you? once again, she must be getting paid good. I don't know, because none of that shit makes sense to me.
I mean, I am black, so I could be.
So this was like the other campaigns, sort of
The other campaigns
doing style stuff.
And
Okay.
other MAGA influencers were given the green light to come out and to just sully the water around me. We don't need to prove anything. We're in the last 5 days. Just throw whatever you can at the wall, and whatever just dull the enthusiasm for her.
Sounds like politics, but
It was politics, but it was very dirty, and I had earned the right.
From your own party. Let me remind you, this is not Democrats doing this from her testament here. It's her own party, the MAGA influencer. Okay, is it just a few people? Because it seemed like they had a lot of reach to steal this election from you. So you're telling me you want black folks to be aligned with that? Okay, got you.
To be there. I only had $1.6 million, so I didn't have the money to go back at these people.
Yeah, right.
They have very loud voices and platform. So I say all of that to say Donald Trump did me no favors in 2020. I have no reason to be loyal to anyone but to myself, my family, and my God, and this wonderful country that allowed me to build a life for myself. So I put that as, I am not in a cult. I do not believe he can do no wrong.
there's some who cross
Yes.
into the zone of
and I met some of them, and it is very
So you
odd.
want Caesar, huh? You want
It's
Caesar? Is this what you
very
want?
odd. But I say all of that I want to lay that. I want to get on the record
Okay.
of saying that first and foremost. Now, if I was looking for, and I know you probably have heard this retort, for a pastor, then Donald Trump would not fit the bill. When I was the national grassroots director for the Vivek Ramaswamy campaign, Vivek is a Hindu. He is not a Christian. And yet I would take him into predominantly Christian circles. One in Iowa that comes to mind. I had 50 uber conservative pastors in this room. I put Vivek in the room and I said, y'all have at him, right? And the goal was that if we were looking to promote a pastor, if we were looking for someone to go throughout America and teach Christian biblical principles, Vivek would not be your person.
And certainly not Trump.
And certainly not Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
But when you understand what the role of the presidency is and the power that that person has, even in recent memory of just comparing what it has meant to have Biden in that seat versus just 4 years earlier, what it meant to have Donald Trump in that seat. We don't have to imagine what a Trump presidency will be like because we've already lived through that.
If you like this clip.
So once again, going back to her Vivek example, and I wish I could find the extended version of this. I was still trying to look for that, but you do know, I don't know if she knows this, but a lot of white evangelicals are not going to vote for Vivek strictly because he's not Christian. Whatever religion that Vivek wants to practice, they don't like that. And there's been plenty of videos where people was telling him to his face. I covered one of the videos, like a month ago, where there was, hey, you're not Christian, I'm not gonna vote for you. Now, should that be a reason why you should or shouldn't vote for someone? No, because that's not policy. But that's how the Republican Party formulates their party and conditions their voters. So unfortunately, if you don't fit the bill of being white, male, Christian, you're not going to win. Hence, right there. So, I mean, it's just weird to me how they're trying to sell this fantasy to black people. And once again, I am so proud that black folks actually showed up, and the numbers show that. You know what I'm saying? So once again, we need to stop these individuals from telling these lies about black people or black men specifically showed up for Republicans, because that's a lie. No, we didn't. The numbers don't show that. So there you go. But once again, if you guys agree or disagree with anything that I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, or hit that Discord link so we can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.